sure we're live?
I don't know. We still haven't figured this out.
But a long time. What? Like a year? 15
Been a year and a
months?
half, and you never know.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. What is up?
What's going on?
Rachel and Jerryniesman, the Niesman Team with Keller Williams Realty in Fort Myers. We serve all of Southwest Florida. And we are here to talk about it on Tuesday. We did talk about it Tuesday once where I had tacos and we talked about it. But the problem with that is you can't really enjoy us talking and we can't really enjoy our tacos. So we'll save the tacos for later.
But we do eat tacos pretty much every Tuesday.
We eat Mexican every Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday.
Let's be real. So yes, for sure. Welcome, welcome. We are here live to talk about living in
Bonita Springs today.
Yes, we are. Otherwise known as just south of Estero or just north of Naples. No, it's a small...
Bonita Springs is its own city.
It is its own city. That's good to know.
Estero's not. Estero's a town. No, Estero's a village. I take that back.
So, yes.
Estero's a village.
Yes. If you have questions about real estate in Southwest Florida, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm doing my best to keep my eyes south of our ring light, but I'm struggling to do so. So sorry, apologies. And we are here to answer all of your questions about real estate in Southwest Florida. If you have questions about anything, feel free to ask here in the comments. The reason why we go live on Facebook every Tuesday for Talk About It Tuesday is so you guys can ask us questions while we're here live. And if you are catching this afterwards, feel free to call, text, message, email 239-201-9583. We serve everywhere from
all of Southwest
Sarasota
Florida
south to like Naples, Marco Island area. So that includes places like Venice. It will go south to like Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Northport area. Our office is located in the North Fort Myers area, just off the 75, and then all the way down south. So yeah.
Yep. So in terms of location in Southwest Florida for Bonita Springs,
yes.
If you start at the very southern tip on the Gulf Coast,
yes,
you have Naples.
So that's before you go across Alligator Alley. So
the Gulf Coast, all the way at the bottom.
Yes.
Naples, and there's an island off the bottom of that called Marco Island. We also cover that. But Naples, Marco Island, and then moving north, the next spot is Bonita Springs. Then
yes.
You hit Estero, Fort Myers.
This is part of our series, pros and cons of each of these different locations. We're chatting about what makes them great to live in, whether it's for yourself full-time or part-time vacation or investment, and highlighting each of the pros and cons of each city, township, village, etc. And so feel free to drop some questions if you have any questions about Bonita, or if you have any questions about anywhere else in Southwest Florida, we'll be happy to answer live. And if you are watching on our YouTube channel, which is just the Niesman Team, well, then you can't, but you can leave us a comment. We will be happy to answer afterwards. So get a hold of us anytime. We are here to answer them.
Yep.
All right, you ready to talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
So we can get to tacos?
Yep.
Tacos.
So what questions you got for me about Bonita?
Where is it? So paint the picture for me again. Where is it in relationship to Fort Myers? A lot of our people know and love Fort Myers proper.
Well, they fly into Fort Myers.
They fly into RSW, Regional Southwest
from
Airport.
Somewhere else.
Correct. So RSW is your airport. So you're flying into Fort Myers.
Right.
And then what? Where is Bonita Springs?
So the airport is in the southeastern part of Fort Myers.
Okay.
Just south of the airport is Estero.
Okay.
And then just south of that is Bonita. And just south of that is Naples.
Okay, cool. So it is south of Fort Myers.
Most of Bonita is like a 10-minute drive from the airport.
There you go. So that's a good roundabout time. You must be Midwestern. You know that most people measure things in miles, but us Midwesterners who are like born and bred in the Midwest, we measure things in minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you always measured things in minutes?
Everywhere I've ever lived, people always talk about distance by minutes because, I mean, come on. We lived in Atlanta for 4 years, and if you measured by miles, you could say, oh, it's only a mile away, and it'll still take you 30 minutes.
That's true. So, yes, please drop in the comments if you use something other than, if you actually use miles to discuss distance, but we use minutes. So, yes, 10, 15 minutes, you're going to leave Southwest RSW, And yeah, you're going to be able to get anywhere you want in Bonita, 10-15 minutes from the airport, from RSW. So that's one of the pros. It's close to the airport, but it's not at the airport. It's not like...
Not in the flight path.
Not in the flight path, yes, correct. And so you don't have to worry about that very much. So tell me more about Bonita. How does it differ from Estero and Naples? Because that's what you got to the north and the south of Bonita Springs. First of all, is there a difference between Bonita and Bonita Springs? People say,
Nope.
I almost never hear people say they're from Bonita Springs or they live in Bonita Springs. They always say Bonita. Is that just shorthand?
Yep, just
Cool.
kind of like Cape Coral, where everybody says I'm from Cape.
I'm from the Cape. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. All right, so tell me, how is it different from Estero? How is it different from Naples? And who would love to live in those three places over each other?
I mean, so Estero and Bonita, I feel, are fairly similar. They both kind of have a little bit of more of a small town feel than like Fort Myers or Naples, per se, in my opinion.
Small town feel, how? Is it the businesses that are there,
Well,
the communities that
yeah,
are there?
I would say it's less commercialized.
Okay.
There's not as many like chain restaurants and stores and things like that. I feel like, you know, when we go to hang out in Bonita and stuff like that, it's usually more like independent, locally owned businesses, things
Sure.
like that we're going to check out.
I feel like I don't see the same buildup of commercial space too. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just that it's smaller.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got plenty of shopping and stuff like that.
What about like industrial complexes of like, oh, here's all sorts of like
yeah, I mean,
plumbers and like, do
you
know
still
what I
have
mean?
that stuff.
You
It's
do,
just
okay.
it's just smaller, so there's not like one big massive area of it.
Okay.
But more, like I said, more small town feel. I mean, it's definitely a smaller population. It's a smaller area land wise, so it should
Right.
have a smaller population as
Yeah,
well.
we're
But
talking-
it's just a small, more small town feel.
So south of 50,000 people
Yep.
living in Bonita Springs is their population, in case you're curious.
Estero is feels a lot newer, and it is. I mean, Bonita
Agreed.
Springs has been a city for much longer time than
Yes.
Estero has been a village. So, Estero feels newer. Bonita feels a lot more quaint, in my opinion.
I feel like Estero feel has a little bit more of a feel, especially where you go in Estero, but just north of Bonita is the college, right? Florida Gulf Coast University.
Florida Gulf Coast.
FGCU makes Estero feel a little college
More
town-y.
college town, yeah.
And then you're looking at Bonita. But if you are a teacher or attending Bonita Florida Gulf Coast, FGCU, then Bonita would be an easy peasy place for you to live and be able to drive there every day and get there easy access, stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's small town feel compared to, what about compared to Naples?
Not as many gated communities and things like that. There's a little more. I'm trying to explain development the way, it's more like your typical neighborhoods rather than, like you're used to in other places versus the gated communities.
Especially I
that
feel
we
like
see
Fort
a lot
Myers
of here
and
in
Naples.
Fort Myers and Naples.
I feel like Fort Myers and Naples are chock full of, I don't want to call them cookie cutter houses. I want to call them preferred homes.
Like similar.
Yeah, houses that look similar in a gated community, and you get all the amenities. There's a lot more traditional neighborhoods outside of a gate.
Yes.
Right?
In Bonita. Yep.
So if you're looking for something like that and you don't want to go all the way north, this is something that we touched about a lot in the pros and cons of living in North Fort Myers and then Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte area. So check out those if you're interested in heading further north and aren't interested in that traditional gated community feel. But then if you're headed south, you're probably going to want to check out Bonita as a nice option for you.
And in terms of price-wise for real estate, Bonita is going to be, I would say, similar to Estero, A little bit less expensive on average than Naples.
Yes. But I do think that one of the pros of being in, I don't know if we mentioned it in Estero, but Bonita is a really nice middle ground for access to healthcare, really great healthcare.
Yep.
Because I feel like there's of course a lot of great doctor's offices and down in Naples. But then you also are close to like Health Park and stuff like that in Fort Myers. You're able to access. Yeah. Correct. And so I think that's really helpful, especially I know a lot of people retire to Florida or winter in Florida and are looking to pick up doctors to maintain their health care. And so the Estero, Bonita Springs area is a nice middle ground in Southwest Florida in case you're looking for that.
Yep.
What else you got?
Bonita also has its own beach.
Cleverly named Bonita Beach. Easy to remember.
It's actually, there are multiple beaches in Bonita, but probably the most well-known is Barefoot Beach.
Yes.
And it's very easy to find because you just go down Bonita Beach Road.
Until you
until you hit the beach.
Until you hit the beach. When you hit the beach, you stop driving, get out, and go enjoy. There are restaurants by that beach, aren't there? There's shopping, restaurants, stuff like that.
So it's actually, Bonita Beach Road is the southern entrance to Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
From the mainland. So you hit Bonita Beach Road, you get to the beaches, you start taking bridges and hopping islands onto what is generally known as Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
And it runs all the way up Estero Island and then comes out on the north end into Fort Myers.
One of the things I want to say would be another good pro, one thing I do like about the Bonita area is just in the same way that I just said, if you need access to medical care, if you need access to glorious shopping, Bonita's a great place to live. It's a nice, hey, listen, people like Miramar's like the #1 tourist attraction in all of Estero. And so
right down the road. It's almost right on the border of Estero and Bonita.
So if you live in Bonita Springs or if you're visiting Bonita
No, not
Springs,
Miramar. I'm thinking of
Coconut Point.
Coconut Point is right on the border.
All of that. Can I just say,
about the border.
Can I just say,
Estero owns
super close
a lot of well-known shopping.
Yes, so you're super close to, but you're also close to like Fifth Ave, Naples, that kind of shopping as well. Naples has some really incredible high-end malls and things like that. And so if you enjoy shopping in your free time, Bonita's a really great spot, especially if you compare it to like those other communities that I just named, like North Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, Northport, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. Like, y'all, if you like get out of Estero to Naples south, you need to go up to like Venice, Sarasota for like the same kind of shopping experience. Just in case you're wondering. What else?
And the nice thing about Bonita being small, so we mentioned there's not a ton of gated communities, but there are quite a few new ones. If you are looking more for the gated community feel, there are quite a few new ones being built and developed.
There's new construction
right along Bonita Beach Road, east of 75, which is more of a less developed area where they're just starting to develop and grow. Those communities are within 15 to 20 minutes of the beach, and they're as far away from the beach as you can get in Bonita.
Right.
So, like, that's kind of the beauty of Bonita is no matter where you are, if you're a beach person, you are within 15 to 20 minutes of the beach.
That's true. Yes, what else? What else do we have for? I mean, it has the same pros that we have in every single Southwest Florida video.
Amazing weather.
The weather's amazing. You're living in the tropics. You're really close to. You are closer. So I don't know if this is a pro or con for some people. We haven't talked about access to the major metropolitan cities in Southwest Florida. I know we're seeing more and more retirees or snowbirds, people who like to come down here during the winter while it's freezing up north in their hometown. We've always said for years we traditionally see more Midwestern people coming to the Gulf Coast of Florida, and then the eastern border retirees. So you're talking New York, New Jersey, Boston, South. A lot of times they traditionally would go over to Fort Lauderdale, Miami. They're on the east coast of Florida, or South Florida, true South Florida.
What is referred to as South Florida, which is the east coast of the southern tip of Florida.
Correct. And so if you're looking to have, if you still like the Miami side, Bonita is a really nice option because you have quicker access over to Miami. You're talking, 90 minutes to Fort Lauderdale, maybe 2 hours to Miami.
Yeah.
But then you're a little bit further away, like say for instance, you're looking for a vacation home and you want your family to be able to come and visit and have easy access to some of the theme parks like Busch Gardens, Universal Studios, and stuff like that. Bonita, Estero, and Naples are going to start pushing you a little bit further away from those. You're talking 2 to 4 hours in some cases. It depends on which of those you're going to.
Yep.
So it depends on what you're interested in.
But yeah, I mean the same typical. Of course, the weather's very similar.
Fishing, golfing, beaching.
Fort Myers south, the weather's all pretty similar. There's maybe a 1 or 2 degree difference when you start heading a little bit further north. Venice, Sarasota, and that, it does start to get a little bit cooler.
I feel like it doesn't really make a big change until you start getting up to Gainesville. But that's my personal experience. Like, all the way,
I can tell you, having talked to many people who live,
cool. All right.
there is actually probably typically about a 4 to 6 degree difference between Sarasota and Bonita.
Today I learned. Look at it, we're all learning things together today. I wouldn't have expected it to be that different. I feel like until you start getting into South Georgia, which is what a lot of people refer to as North Florida, so you're talking the Panhandle, Jacksonville, stuff like that, where it even...
You don't spend enough time traveling back and forth.
I think we should. Let's
That's
get in the
why
car
you
now
think
and
that.
drive.
You don't know the difference. You haven't experienced it enough.
Okay, fair enough. All right, yes. But I do know that it gets traditionally much cooler in northern Florida.
Yes, it does.
It makes a huge difference. Florida is a gigantic state. I don't think people realize from where we sit in the North Fort Myers area right now, it's a solid 8 hours, 7.5 hours to get out of the state of Florida. And we can go, it takes us, we are 3.5 hours.
Isn't it 8 hours to Atlanta?
Maybe.
I think it's 6 hours.
Maybe I'm thinking from the state of Florida, from like Key Largo to, if you go from Key Largo out of Florida. So that's kind of where you start getting into the Keys. But it's long. It's a really long trip.
Florida's a big state.
Driving it or road tripping it, yeah. Not compared to Texas. I'd rather drive across Florida than Texas.
Yep.
But, all right, so what else do we got? Talked about weather.
So, yeah, you talked about the weather. Your average temperature is typically between 70 and 90 degrees. Depending, of course, obviously summertime is going to be the high end of that. Wintertime is going to be the low end. But that's your typical averages.
I feel like...
That's why everybody comes here.
True. Yes. Why most people do. So tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, and...
I will.
I feel... this is always a learning experience for me. For those who don't know, I'm an unlicensed real estate assistant. Jerry's been doing this for 11 plus years now, helped 500 plus, I've been saying 500 plus since 100 closings ago. So 600 plus happy clients that we've helped buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So he's been doing this full time forever. I'm his assistant, and I'm an unlicensed assistant. So I'm not showing homes. I'm never in the only time I'm accessing the MLS is to provide something for Jerry for his clients. And so I learn a lot now too. Like Talk About It Tuesday's been so informative. I really get to get into his side of the business and learn some of the things. But some things I handle, marketing, stuff like that. So correct me if I'm wrong, and you said?
I will.
Okay, I feel like Estero Bonita has been more recently developed than places like older places like Naples, Fort Myers, Sarasota. So there's better city planning. Like Fort Myers, we talked about one of the cons of the Fort Myers area is they basically have like 4 roads. They have the 75 and 41 going north-south, and then they have east-west being Colonial and Daniels, and anyone who's lived in Fort Myers long enough knows that, during the time. But I feel like there's better infrastructure when you go between those two those older towns. No, you don't think so?
Well, I mean, Bonita's been around a long time still. I mean, there's a ton of... Bonita was built in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, it's really all of Southwest Florida has 2 north and south roads, which
That's
is 75
true.
and 41.
41 was the
I
old
mean,
75 for
It was the
don't know.
old
It was
highway
the original north-south.
connecting Tampa to Miami. So, I mean, those are really the 2 main roads, but it's smaller. There's less traffic,
Yes.
less population, and they did build bigger, wider roads in most of those, you know, most of those main roads going east and west at least.
Right.
So I feel like there's less traffic primarily because there's less population.
Sure.
But,
And an important note, is this the last area, this is the last, you said it's a city, is this the last city or is this the very south of Lee County before we hit Collier?
Yes, Bonita Springs is the furthest south Lee County goes, and then once you jump out of Bonita and into Naples, you're in Collier County.
So, and then in North Fort Myers, we bought at the north of it, right? So it
Correct.
goes North Fort Myers, Estero, Bonita, and then going from like inside out, if you go to the west, you also add on Cape Coral, and if you go to the east, you add on Lehigh.
Correct.
And that's Lee County.
Alva.
Okay, Alva. Alva is
Lee
east
County.
of North Fort Myers.
North. It's east of North Fort Myers and north of Lehigh.
Lehigh, yes, correct. Okay.
Yep.
So that's basically Lee County. So this is kind of the wrap on our Lee County. We'll head south to Collier. So what, in terms of cons, I'm just going to throw out there because I'm a frugal person on earth. Bonita starts getting expensive. It's closer to Naples.
Depends on which way you're going. If you're coming from the north going south, it's more expensive. If you're coming from the south going north, it's less expensive.
That's true. It depends on where you're from, and of course, that's always
But
relative to
it
where you're coming
is
from.
it is a higher cost of living, primarily housing.
Do you feel like Bonita is higher than
than
Estero, or
the
pretty
average.
similar to Estero?
It's-
And the two of them together,
They're
higher or
pretty
lower than-
similar.
Okay, and they're less, and they're more affordable than Naples traditionally. Like,
Yes.
if you take a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage in Naples, it's going to be more expensive because it has a Naples zip code or Collier County address or Naples
Typically.
address. And then the Bonita and Estero will run pretty similar, which
Yep.
both would be a little more expensive than Fort Myers.
Yep.
Correct? All right, so I got it figured out. And it would be less, even more so in Cape Coral and Lehigh. No, is Cape more expensive than Fort Myers? I know we're in the wrong city, but how are they comparing
No,
to
it's
each other right
typically
now?
less.
Okay. All right, cool. And what other cons? Do you have anything? I don't. I would love to live in Bonita. It's kind of the best of both worlds for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's really, I mean, you have the typical cons of Southwest Florida, which is you have hurricanes potentially to deal with.
Yes, alligators.
Which is all of Florida. You do have bugs, and you have critters that you're not used to from other places typically. You've got alligators. You're gonna see the wildlife.
So I feel like before I lived in Florida, I always had in my mind that like alligators would be a big problem of living in Florida, and of course I never see them. But the only time I really see alligators is at Busch Gardens, so it's not as big of a concern for people who are transitioning.
Occasionally, you don't see them as often as you see them on Facebook.
Correct. I feel like we share them a lot to scare people away. We're like, yeah, no, it's tropical.
It's not to scare people. It's like, oh my God, look at this crazy thing that I saw.
Right.
When you see it, but then it gets shared around 1,000,000 times. You come across it 15 times in 5 days, and you're like, oh my God, there's alligators everywhere, and it's the same alligator.
It's the way people in the Smoky Mountains share pictures of the black bears.
Right.
It's like, look at this weird, bizarre thing that's happening in nature where I live.
You probably see bears at your mom's cabin way more than most people see alligators at our houses down here.
That's true. I don't see alligator. Like I said, I think I only see alligators at Busch Gardens. So I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else to share. Thank you so much for joining us. Anything else? I'm sorry, I'm wrapping up, but I think we're good.
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, if y'all have any questions about Bonita specifically, drop them here in the comments. Check out our other videos, either here or on YouTube at the Niesman Team.
Yeah. As always, the video is sponsored by us.
Yep.
And call,
please,
text, message, email. Let us know if you have questions about this. Anything else? Please, what?
if you're watching on
click
YouTube,
like and
subscribe. If you want notifications of when our other videos are uploaded, ring the bell. And that's it.
That's it.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Let us help you along your journey here. Thank you guys so much.